Hello friends, welcome back to another one of these. She kind of knows, doesn't she? She must have a radar out for, oh, Kate's doing another chat to her YouTube friends. So I'm going to get it on the act. Come on, Norma. Come and sit down here. Come on. Today is Sunday, the 11th of March, 2018. And today is, in the UK, is Mother's Day. It's a lovely, beautiful celebration. Historically, it goes back to when young girls were 14, 15-year-old girls were sent away to work at the big house, to work in service. And on Mothering Sunday was the day where they were able to go back and visit their mums. And the tradition is that they would bake a simnel cake for them and pick a bunch of primroses on their way on the long walk home. I always imagine these girls with their cake wrapped in a cloth, walking the 5 miles home to see their mum, who they haven't seen since Christmas, picking a bunch of primroses on the way and to go to see their mums on Mothering Sunday. And so Mother's Day's now become a real big commercial thing, hasn't it, where everyone buys cards and does commercial mother's things. But for me, it's just about remembering your mum or your daughter, or just remembering. Today then is the first year in all of my life that I can't remember my mum because she's not here. And so I'm having a very reflective day thinking about her. So I have an idea about what I want to do today. It's a beautiful day, as I say, and I will spend some time outside, but my knee is still very sore, and so I don't want to push that and do too much outside. So I'm going to go outside for a bit, and I'm going to spend some time today, and today we're going to do this hopefully together. But before I move on to what we're going to do, that's it, Norma, walk round the back of the camera. I just wanted to quickly show you what I've achieved here with the carding. The table here, this table, I work on this table here. It's in beautiful full sunshine, views over the garden and the hill and the bird feeders and so on. But it was completely and utterly full of fibre because I was doing the fibre 3-part series for me and you. So I wanted to clear the table. So what I want to do then is have a lot of fibre ready to spin, so that if it's a rainy day or cold day or wet day or my knee hurts or whatever, I can actually spend some time spinning. There's a wee text coming in there. This is not going to work, is it? She's sitting down now, it's fine. This is why we like these videos, isn't it? Because of the mayhem. So here we are then. I originally did the brown and the orange and the brown. Somebody thought that blue would look quite nice in there, so I carded up some blue. I totally agree. That blue and orange looks fabulous together. But then I took a load of the other fibre that was lying around the table and carded up some more, some grey and pink and some green, so that I've got a whole load then to go at. Now, you and I see very organised boxes full of rolags ready to spin. There are 4 creatures in this house who see something completely different. And so I'm going to have to store these away from potential cat beds. I'm going to put them in the spare room upstairs where cats are not allowed. So that's the table cleared now for the project I want to get on with today. This one has been on my mind for months to actually get ready to do. We're going to do it now. So I'm going to stop this now and I'm going to get everything set up to show you the next crafty thing we're going to do. I wonder how much of that I'll have to edit out. I should do a bloopers reel, shouldn't I? Which would largely be cats knocking things over. See you in a minute. For those of you who've just found me here and don't know, what I've been doing with my life, I do a lot of things with fibre, but I also do a lot of things with fabric. And so for many years, I've been a quilter, and I make quilts for commissions, I make quilts for family, and I make quilts for exhibitions. So I've had a few exhibitions where I've made quilts and sold quilts. It's been really nice. So this then is a quilt top that I made ages ago, way into last year, maybe last summer even, and it's a quilt top that's been sitting in this cupboard here waiting for me to do the next stage. Now I teach a quilting course. It's a 3-day course where we make we learn the basics of how to piece together fabric to make a quilt top, and then we learn all the stages that there are in putting a quilt together till it's finished. So it's much simpler than this, what we end up making. But this one here is a quilt, as I say, I made it last summer, and what I'm going to do this morning is pin it out ready to hand quilt it. I like hand quilting. I like doing a lot of repetitive slow work. I really enjoy that. It's just so relaxing. And so I want to get this quilt top that's made here pinned out into the 3 layers that it needs to be, which is the background layer, which is going to be this lovely green fabric, the wadding, which is this lovely thin cotton wadding. Now I choose thin wadding, and always cotton or silk. I've done some quilts with silk wadding, which makes for a very luxurious finish, because I don't like using man-made fibres. I just like everything to be nice and natural. So this is cotton wadding, this is cotton backing, and what I've done this morning is lay them all out on my big table here. This is why I love this table and this setting so much, so that I've laid everything out here. I've got the quilt top here, and what I'm going to do with you guys this morning is pin it out with these special quilting pins. Now, what's special about a quilting pin, I hear you say? Can you see that there you are on that blank bit of wall there? This is a safety pin, but it's got a bend in it. It's important to have that little bend in the pin, because we're going to be pinning through all 3 layers of the backing fabric, wadding, quilt top, in order to keep them all together in what's called the quilt sandwich, so that when I'm quilting it, they don't shift. So I'm going to put these fairly close together. Now, the reason why they've got a little bump like that is so that when they sit through all 3 of those layers, they're not going to create a bump in the fabric. They'll sit there and keep everything lovely and flat, which is important because we want to make sure that those layers don't shift as we're quilting them. Quite a lot of people machine quilt, and I haven't got a big enough machine. I've got a beautiful sewing machine, but it's not big enough to do machine quilting well. And so you can send them off to places to get them quilted on something called a long arm quilter, which my daughter-in-law always laughs about because she thinks that the quilter's got really long arms. It's not a quilter with long arms, it's a quilt machine with long arms. And so this morning then, I've got all my pins here. I'm going to set this up so that we can, I'll do it quickly. You don't want to watch me pinning this every for hours. I'm going to do it on quick, but I'll show you this first. So this quilt top then, this is not at all like my usual style. I make very simple quilts usually, but this one, as you can see, has got this little element here, this little star element here. I'm going to show you it's incredibly simple how we achieve that. So what I love about quilting, with a little bit of geometry, very simple geometry, we can make a decorative element with So we've got a square here, simple. We've got a lozenge piece there, but then each of the corners of this lozenge piece here have been tipped with this little bit of red fabric. Okay, just if you isolate that piece there, I've just put a little piece of red in the corner of each one, then a red square which makes for a star. Very simple. You break down the patterns here, it comes together very, very simply. So of course I'm towards the end of this quilt, but what I thought I would do, it's actually occurring to me now that what's happening with this YouTube channel, all the things I'm interested in, I'm making them as parts and series. So I'm going to do a quilting series, I'm going to do a hen keeping series, spinning, we've already done a bit of that. But as you get to know me through this channel, you'll see that what I love to spend my days doing is really interesting things with fibre, fabric, wool, with making, experimenting with bits of cooking and gardening and hens. I like my life here in this house, enjoying doing the things that I'm doing and now sharing them with you. Now, this is going to work because cats are outside. This is another thing that the cats really like, because they love to have me spread out a lovely big piece of fabric and then sleep on it. So I'm going to pin this all up today so that it's at the point where I can then roll it up and put it away. And then again, like with the spinning, when it's a cold day or I don't feel much like gardening, I can actually get this out and do some hand stitching. And we'll probably do that together as well. So this is a big, bold, colourful quilt with these big red stars popping about all over the place. We're going to pin it together now, and I'm going to do it quite quickly. So here we go. I do love my big table. It's just perfect for this kind of thing. And I start pinning in the middle. You can't see because it's so fast, but I keep smooshing the fabric out so that I can check that there are no wrinkles. The bottom layer is stuck to the table with masking tape, so that's not going to move. And then I'm going to pin every few inches to keep it together. So there it is now, all pinned out, which means that I can pick it up, move it around, fold it and store it if I want to, and then just bring it out whenever I want to, put it on the big table and do some stitching. Now this has been useful to have these stars like that, because we need to put the pins about a hand's width apart so that all the layers are held together beautifully. You see the little pins at the back there that are just holding it together. And I've done it because I've wanted to think about my mum today. These pins I was showing you, she bought these. In fact, I've got some of hers. And my dad came into her sewing room one day and saw these pins and thought, those pins are all bent. They must be like reject pins, not realising that they were quilting pins. So he took them out to his workshop and got his pliers and he straightened them all out for her and brought them back in. So they are, love, I've fixed your pins. And she was, okay, thank you, and bought another packet. Oh, bless her. Okay then, so this is now ready to quilt. I haven't decided how I'm going to quilt it yet. I like to use colourful threads when I'm quilting so that you get a lovely grid pattern on the back as well with the stitching. So I'm going to have a think about it. I've wanted to pin it out. It's ready now to do, and so I can, when the fancy takes me, just get it out and do some hand quilting. And I'll turn this on so that you can do it with me. Well, that's it for that one. Happy Mother's Day if you're in the UK, and happy day if you're not. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.